We'll call to order the Board of Zoning Appeals. If you'll stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Call a roll, please.
Mike Curtis.
Here.
Amber Brown. Jerry Sartain.
Here. Gary
Farley.
Here.
Renee Curtis. Here. Patrick Hale. Here. Zane Cantrell.
Present.
We have a quorum.
You have the minutes of the last meeting. Are there any changes or additions to the minutes?
Move it be approved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a second. Got a second. Call a roll, please.
Mike Curtis.
Yes.
Jerry Sartain.
Yes.
Gary Farley.
Yes.
Renee Curtis. Yes. Patrick Hale.
Yes.
Zane Cantrell.
Yes. Minutes are approved. The first item we have is a request by Talya Squires, who is requesting a special exemption for a group child care home. What do you have on that, please?
Thank you. Application 2024-09 involves the property located at 703 Drew Street. It's a request for special exception approval for the establishment of a group child care home upon a property located in the RM medium density residential zoning district. And the site is a 0.46 acre site. And the applicant currently keeps children in their home. You are allowed to keep up to four children in your home without having to get any special zoning approvals. Between the number 5 and 12 children, it requires someone to go for a special exception. So she wants to go to that next level, which requires special exception approval. And the applicant had indicated that they will be changing the fence to like a privacy fencing in the back. We reviewed the criteria for child care centers or child care facilities, pardon me, and the one concern that we have is that she has a driveway. As you can see, this is the site here, and we require someone to be able to drop off their child and not have to back up onto the road. So she's at the end of Drew Street. It's not like a through traffic street that it would cause a safety concern, but she does have area up here where she could create like a bump out and a turnaround where people dropping off their children can pull up, park, and then maybe back out into the driveway and then drive onto Drew Street. We received phone calls from several people, informational calls. No one indicated that they had any issues with the request and that they were aware that she already kept 4 children at the home. And this is the home in question. And this is the home across the street. For some reason, they pixelated it for privacy. And the property to the west, and then the property to the east. And we find that the request meets the criteria for special exception approval. That's it. Sorry.
Any questions of our staff on this? Do we have anyone here representing this request? If you'll come around, please. Come on to the podium up here. Give us your name and any additional information you want to share.
My name is Talya Squires, and this is my home. I've been watching 4 kids for 3 years now in my home, and I'm ready to move to the next level and watch 9 to 12 children. Do you have any questions?
Mary, go ahead.
I love what I do, so.
So you're still going to live in the home and do this as well?
I do live in the home, yes, with my daughter.
But you're still going to live in it when the number increases, right?
Yes.
How many staff members are you going to have?
I might hire an assistant, just one part-time assistant, most likely college age and childcare education.
Any other questions? Thank you. May be seated. We'll open this for a public hearing for anyone who would like to speak on this request. Close the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion on it. Pardon?
Second.
Got a second? Okay. Call the roll, please.
Mike Curtis,
Yes.
Jerry Sartain,
Yes.
Gary Farley,
Yes.
Renee Curtis, Patrick Hale,
Yes.
Zane Cantrell.
Yes. The next item we have is a request by JBL Partners, who is requesting a special exemption for a mini storage business. Now, this is in an office professional zoning district. What do you have on that, please?
Right, application 2024-10 involves the location at 5418 Franklin Road. They are seeking special exception approval for a mini storage business located upon the office professional zoning district. In March of 2024, this year, they had gone before the Board of County Commissioners to rezone this property from residential to office professional. During the rezoning process, it was declared that this was their ultimate intention to build a mini storage facility upon the property. If they are to get approval for the mini storage facility tonight, any kind of development on this property will have to go through site plan review. So what you see in the package is just a concept plan. There's not a lot of detail, but more detail would be shown during the engineering review process. This is the site in question, and you can see this is the Kroger that's located on Veterans and 96. So it's surrounded both city and county zone properties. And then this is the concept plan. So it looks like their plans include the construction of about 35,000 square feet of storage space with a total of 75,000 plus impervious area. And so if they are to get approved, it will have to go through site plan review, and we will determine whether or not it meets all the development regulations, and then the Planning Commission will consider it once it has demonstrated meeting our requirements. Staff reviewed the request against the specific standards for mini warehouses, and we found that it met the criteria. We do want to mention that they had indicated some outdoor storage, and that office professional doesn't allow the outdoor storage of vehicles like RVs. They would have to get a different zoning category for that. But apart from that, we recommend approval. We did receive several informational calls, but no one indicated any opposition.
Gary, go ahead.
On that picture you have, what is the little property that's next to it? It looks like a house there, but it's got 7 numbers. Is it an apartment building?
It's probably it could be a multifamily, just a grandfathered one. The zoning to the...
It's not multifamily. It's a street that's got 7 residents on it.
It's a what?
It's a street that's got 7 residences.
Well, okay, so it's got multiple address points on a building. So that would typically indicate units. So whether it's residential or commercial.
The reason I asked was how far this
RM.
was from the closest residential housing, but it looks like it has a
It would be,
wooded buffer between the two.
they would be required to provide some landscaping and meet our buffering requirements.
The other houses, like the 119 up there, there's
Okay,
there's
yes,
a big
there's a
wooded buffer
significant
there.
amount. And if you see that, just the commercial development is inching westward, the city. And so it's along a major thoroughfare. So probably not ideal for residential development at this time. You can see the commercial strip center across the street. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to take photos like I normally do when I post signs. We had someone else post signs, so I used Google Earth, Street View, so.
I think somewhere I read they have a mobile home and maybe a couple of them and some other vehicles stored there. But if this is built the way it is, all of that's got to go.
Right, I mean,
And that would come up in your,
yes, sir. It's understood that the property is going to be cleaned up, and I imagine the applicant can talk to that.
have someone here representing this. If you'll come around and give us your name and clear up all of this.
Yes, sir. Matt Taylor of SEC. My clients, Mr. Joel Hale and Bobby Kirby, are with me as well of JBL Partners. And yes, we absolutely understand. I think we've already started cleaning up some of the debris or the leftover stuff from the previous owner of the property. So we absolutely understand that. We will have the landscape buffer. We understand the outdoor storage, so that won't be a problem either. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have, though.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Since this property is adjacent to the city,
Yes, sir.
why did the applicant choose not to be annexed and brought into the city for sewer and everything else?
I think because we didn't need the sewer for this particular type of development, and so we preferred to stay out in the county.
Okay, just
Any other questions?
We just like Doug and Mike better. And Danielle.
Thank you. We'll open this for a public hearing for anyone who'd like to speak on this request. If you'll come around, please.
I'm Carl Reynolds. I live at 110 Carroll Drive, which is just right around the corner from this planned development. There's a couple concerns we got. Number one is this almost entire property is in a floodway. A floodway. It absorbs water and everything, and if they build up over there, it's going to push it down on someone else's property. Number two, back in 1956, Noel Noakes sold approximately 50 acres to J.R. Freeman and R.L. Freeman. About approximately 6 of these acres, which is the property in question, was sold to Mr. Arnold Hobbs, which I supposedly has stayed at his family until recently. All these properties over here had a restricted covenant on it for residential use only. That covenant has not expired. The only way that I understand that this can be resolved is either all the property owners who have touch of concern with this specific property sign off on it and agree on it, or the plaintiffs can take it to a court matter. I don't believe it's in the scope of this rezoning commission to overturn it or their authority. This will either have to be agreed on by all landowners with touch and concern or go through the courts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Anyone else? Anyone else? Public hearing still open. Close the public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, with what the gentleman just brought up, can somebody address some of the things that he just through talking about?
Yeah.
Well, we do not enforce private restrictions and
Right.
covenants and restrictions. That would have to be through the court, civil court.
Right. I just want to make sure. I knew that, but I wanted to make sure that that was
On
brought
record.
up and on the record.
Mr. Chairman, I'm making a motion that we approve with them adhering to the OP rezoning that the county set forth for them.
Do we have a second?
I'll give that a second, but I also have a question of staff.
We have a second
So,
here.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll just take the opportunity to ask the question. Again, very similar to like Gary's question. I already know this answer, but I want to make sure it's said. This will have to go through site plan approval at the planning level in order to address the floodway concerns.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay,
Got a long ways to go yet.
yep.
Call roll, please. Have a motion and a second.
Mike Curtis. Jerry Sartain.
Yes.
Gary Farley.
Yes.
Renee Curtis.
Yes.
Patrick Hale.
Yes.
Zane Cantrell.
Yes. Yes. The next item we have is a request from Rutherford County, and this is for a special exemption on a public health and safety building. Now, who exactly is handling that from?
Okay, so Rutherford County, we're the applicant. The agent for the applicant is the civil engineer.
Okay.
Okay.
Who is
And then
BOCC?
we also have the benefit of our county engineer here if there's a question.
Who is BOCC?
Board of County Commissioners. Oh, okay.
Well, that's what I was trying to.
Oh,
I'm in the dark too. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
thank you. Application 2024-11 involves the property at 7182 Otter Pond Way. It's a request for special exception approval for the establishment of a public health and safety building upon a property located in the RM Medium Density Residential Zoning District. And so this property is a portion of a larger parcel that the Plainview Elementary is developed upon. And it's the intention to build this public safety building that will include a community kitchen, a communal gathering area, a tornado shelter, emergency medical dispatch, and fire station bays. The structure is going to measure 10,731 square feet. They are proposing 23 parking spaces. It is currently going through site plan review now, and we have received some phone calls regarding this. They are here tonight to speak if they have any concerns, but they did not have any issues with the use itself. And so it's not a use that's permitted by right. You would think that through this process for you guys. So we recommend approval.
I would just point out, this is out there in nowhere. and it's talking about having a community kitchen, communal gathering place, tornado shelter. All these things could happen. Emergency medical dispatch station, fire station. That's right down your line.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. This here is going to be great for that community out there because they just got the opening up Las Casas. They're doing one in Walter Hill, and they did one in Rockville. They did one in Kittrell, and it's these stations are phenomenal for the community.
Sounds really phenomenal, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Really
I concur with Gary.
It does. And the building that we're experiencing now on this side of the south side of the county, we do need something like this that is thought before we need it. You know, we need it. We are going to need it. But I do appreciate the forethought that they're bringing it to us now.
Have anyone here representing this? You're up again? You're earning your money tonight.
Yes, sir. Matt Taylor of SCC. We are the civil engineers, landscape architects on this side, as well as the other public safety buildings. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have, if you do.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it. We'll open this for a public hearing for anyone who'd like to speak on it. Come forward, please.
Good evening, Mike Harris, 5235 Sledge Road, Christiana. I live right across the street from this property. First thing I want to say is I'm all for it. Glad to see it being built there. There's two things I want. I want transparency and I want honesty with the county. We got shafted with the school as far as elevations and flooding issues. We have major flooding out there as it is. We were lied to numerous times. We don't want that again. There again, we're not here to object to it. We just want to be kept informed and above, you know, the crookedness that the county school board did.
All right. Now, can you be more specific in what you're stating as far as the crookedness and the lied to? And
that involves the school board, and that's probably not.
This has nothing to do with school board.
That's correct.
Yeah. This is actually the county commission that's bringing this forward. The school board has zero to do with this.
My understanding, yes. So for me to elaborate on that is inappropriate.
Okay. I just wanted to be specific and find out what your thoughts were.
Okay. I do have some pictures that you all are welcome to enter into the record if you like. The flooding that takes place on my neighbor's property, which ultimately 100% of the water that comes onto her property from the school property, 100% of it comes on to me. We don't want to make it any worse. I've been speaking with the county engineer back there before the meeting, and they've assured us that it's actually going to make it better, and I'm okay with that. The more you can make it better, the greater. But it's probably a needed thing out there. We're not against it. We just don't want to make it any worse. Just so you know, that's Sledge Road, March 27, 2021. So, you know, it's, I had some, like I say, I had some questions involving the elevations, but they kind of addressed them.
Thank you, sir. It's a typical problem that we see everywhere now in this county when you have these downpours. Used to, you didn't have them. Now you have these drenching rains. And, you know, I see the same thing, water running off of other property onto mine. And but it doesn't happen until you have one of these really drenching rains that rain so hard that we used to didn't have. So we're still open for the public hearings. Anyone else? Anyone else? Close the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the request with conditions that are set forth by the staff.
Okay.
Second.
Have a second. Call the roll, please.
Mike Curtis,
Yes.
Jerry Sartain,
Yes.
Gary Farley,
Yes.
Renee Curtis, Patrick Hill, Zane Cantrell.
Yes. It is approved. Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.
Do we have any update from last month?